AITA for refusing to invite my dad's new wife to my wedding. I, 28F, am getting married next summer, and what should have been the happiest time of my life has turned into a confusing mess because of family politics I never asked for. I'm torn between maintaining boundaries and trying to keep the peace, but lately, I'm wondering if I'm just being cold-hearted. Let me start from the beginning. My parents divorced when I was 13. It wasn't a peaceful split. My dad cheated on my mom with a woman named Carla, not her real name, who he met through work. I'll never forget how devastated my mom was. She tried to hold herself together for my younger brother and me, but we saw the late-night crying, the drinking she eventually got help for, and the financial spiral that followed. We lost our house, and for a while, we lived with my aunt in a cramped two-bedroom apartment. My dad, meanwhile, moved in with Carla and got a condo in the city. He tried to make things seem normal for us. It's not Carla's fault, he'd say. Adults fall out of love. But as a teenager watching my mom unravel while Carla played happy stepmom with my dad, I couldn't just smile and pretend everything was okay. I stopped going over to my dad's on weekends when I turned 16. We were civil, but never close again. I didn't go to his wedding with Carla the following year. He called me dramatic and immature at the time. I didn't talk to him for almost a year after that. Fast forward to today, I'm in a much better place. My fiancé, Andrew, is incredibly kind and supportive. He knows everything. We've been together for 5 years, and I've worked hard to rebuild a peaceful relationship with my dad. I don't forgive him for everything, but I've made peace with the fact that he's not perfect. We do dinners occasionally. He even helped me with part of the down payment on my house. But one boundary has always remained. I don't have a relationship with Carla. I never have. She's just not part of my life. We don't talk. We don't text. She doesn't reach out, and I don't either. It's been a silent understanding for over a decade. When I sent out the wedding invites, I invited my dad, but not Carla. I didn't even think of it as a dramatic decision. I wanted a small, intimate wedding of people I love and who have supported me through life. Carla just isn't one of those people. My mom, who has since remarried a wonderful man, is attending. My stepdad, Mike, will be walking me down the aisle alongside my mom. It just felt right. But then Dad called me. It started off normal. The venue looks beautiful. You must be so excited. But then he got quiet and said, I noticed Carla didn't get an invite. Was that a mistake? I paused. I could feel my heart pounding because I knew this conversation was coming. I said, no, it wasn't a mistake. I'm sorry if that's awkward for you, but I don't feel comfortable having her there. He went silent for a moment. Then he said, are you really going to disrespect my marriage like that on your wedding day? I told him it wasn't about disrespect. It was about comfort. I told him I wanted the day to be about joy and healing. And for me, Carla's presence would reopen old wounds. I tried to be gentle. I reminded him that he and I were rebuilding our bond, and that I hoped he could understand and respect that this was something deeply personal to me. That's when he snapped. You're still punishing me for something that happened 15 years ago. Carla's done nothing to you. You're being petty and cruel. I thought you were more mature than this. I was stunned. I felt like a teenager again, being blamed for not just getting over it. I ended the call by saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. You're still invited, but this is my boundary. Since then, things have escalated. He's now threatening not to come at all. My aunt, his sister, called me and said she thinks I'm being cold and vindictive and that people will talk if my dad shows up without his wife. My cousin texted me saying Carla is devastated and that she always hoped one day we'd make peace. My mom, on the other hand, is staying out of it and told me she supports whatever decision brings me peace. Even Andrew asked if it might be easier to just let Carla come as a gesture of goodwill, but I don't know. It feels like I'm being pressured to cave for the sake of appearances and to appease someone who was a symbol of betrayal in my family. I don't hate Carla, but I don't want her at the most important day of my life. Is that so unreasonable? Still, I can't stop second-guessing myself. I've always believed weddings should be about joy, not politics. But maybe I'm letting old grudges ruin a chance at peace. Or maybe I'm finally standing up for my own boundaries, even if it's uncomfortable for others. So, AITA for not inviting my dad's wife to my wedding? Update 1. My dad didn't come to the wedding, and neither did half the family. Hi again. I didn't expect this post to blow up the way it did. Thank you to everyone who commented. I read hundreds of your replies and messages. Some made me cry. Some made me laugh. Some made me question everything. But most of all, it reminded me that my boundaries are valid. A lot has happened since I last wrote. This will probably be long. About a week after I told my dad that Carla wasn't invited, the silence between us turned icy. He didn't call, didn't text, just silence. I honestly thought he was cooling off, maybe taking some time to come to terms with things. I even thought he might still come alone, despite how angry he sounded. But then, about 3 weeks before the wedding, I got an email. Not a call, not a text. An email. Cold. Formal. It basically said that he was deeply hurt by my deliberate exclusion of his wife, that I had made it clear how little I respected him as a person, and that, under those circumstances, he would not be attending the wedding. Not only that, but he would also regretfully inform other family members who might feel similarly unwelcome. I sat there staring at my laptop like I'd just been hit in the stomach. I didn't respond right away. What do you even say to that? My fiancé, Andrew, was furious. He told me, if he doesn't want to be part of your life without conditions, then he doesn't deserve to be there on your happiest day. I agreed, but it still hurt. This is my dad, the man who used to carry me on his shoulders, who taught me how to parallel park, who cried when I graduated college. I eventually sent back a short, respectful reply. I'm sad you've chosen not to attend. I love you. The invitation stands, and you're welcome anytime, with or without Carla. That was it. No response. Then came the ripple effects. My dad's sister, my Aunt Joan, backed out of the wedding 2 days later. She said she couldn't take sides. My cousin, the one who messaged me before, sent me a long text about how excluding family is a toxic behavior and how I wasn't being the bigger person. By the end of that week, I had lost 6 guests, all on my dad's side. I won't lie, I cried a lot that week. I felt like my wedding had become a battleground, like no matter what I did, someone would think I was cruel. I started having dreams of walking down the aisle and no one being there. I even told Andrew one night, maybe we should just elope. But something changed the day before the wedding. I was sitting in the dressing room of our venue, getting my nails touched up, when my stepdad, Mike, came in. He's not an emotional man. He's quiet, dependable, one of those dad jokes and fixing things kind of guys. But he knelt next to me and said, your dad may not be here, but you're not missing a thing. I've got you. We've all got you. I bawled like a child. The next day was perfect. The sky was clear. The flowers were exactly how I imagined. My mom held my left arm. Mike held my right. As we walked down the aisle, I saw my brother crying. I saw my best friend clapping. I saw Andrew waiting for me with tears in his eyes. And for once, I didn't think about Carla, or my dad, or the empty seats. I thought about the people who showed up, the people who loved me. We danced. We laughed. We cut the cake. I wore my late grandmother's earrings. I felt whole. Update 2. 3 months later, and then Carla messaged me. Hey again, Reddit. I wanted to give you one final update. Not because I need closure from the wedding, I've made peace with that, but because something happened that I never, in a million years, expected. Carla messaged me. It's been 3 months since the wedding. Life has been good. Andrew and I went to Greece for our honeymoon. We came home, sent out thank you cards, and returned to the rhythm of daily life. I hadn't spoken to my dad since his email. Not a word. Then, last week, out of nowhere, I got a Facebook message request. It was her. Carla. Just seeing her name made my stomach twist. I almost deleted it without opening it. But curiosity got the better of me. Here's what it said, edited slightly for length and privacy. Hi Opie. I hope this doesn't upset you. I wasn't sure if I should reach out, but I've been thinking about your wedding and everything that's happened. I want you to know that I never expected to be invited. I've always understood why you kept your distance. I was hurt, not because I felt entitled to come, but because your father took it so personally. I wish he'd handled it differently. I wish he'd gone, with or without me. I'm sorry for the pain that came from our relationship. I never meant to take anything from you. If you ever want to talk, I'd like to listen. I sat with that message for hours, then days. I talked to my therapist about it. I talked to Andrew. I even showed it to my mom. Her response surprised me. She said, that's probably the most honest thing I've ever seen from her. Maybe she's grown. Or maybe she always knew. Eventually, I replied. I told her I appreciated the message, that I didn't know what a relationship would look like, or if I even wanted one, but that I respected her honesty. I told her I wasn't angry anymore, but I wasn't ready for anything deeper either. I said I wish things had been different when I was a teenager, but I also knew we can't go back in time. She responded once more. That's okay. Take care of yourself. I'll be here. That was it. As for my dad, still silence. Part of me wants to reach out, but another part of me thinks, maybe this is what he chose. Maybe, after all these years of dancing around hard conversations, this was the line we finally stopped crossing. And maybe that's okay. Sometimes, family is who shows up for you. Sometimes, healing comes from the most unexpected places. And sometimes, you get to walk down the aisle without ghosts on your shoulders. Thank you for being part of this journey, Reddit. Final update. Carla came to our house. Then everything exploded. Hi again. This is probably the last time I'll ever post about this, because honestly, I'm exhausted. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I thought the worst of this family drama was behind me, but nope. Turns out, I was just at the eye of the storm. And now the winds have hit full force. If you read my last update, you'll remember that Carla messaged me a surprisingly thoughtful and respectful note, and I responded cautiously. We left things on a peaceful, distant but not hostile note. I honestly thought that would be the end of it. We'd go our separate ways. I'd rebuild my life with the people who showed up, and the rest could fade quietly into the background. But then, 2 weeks ago, I came home from work, and Carla was standing on my front porch. Yes, you read that correctly. She came to my house, uninvited, unannounced. At first, I thought she might have been dropping off something my dad wanted me to have or something. But no, she wanted to talk. In person. She said she didn't want more misunderstandings. Andrew wasn't home yet. I was tired. I wasn't emotionally prepared. But I let her in because, I don't know, maybe I was still stuck in that lifelong trap of being the nice girl. Big mistake. She sat on my couch, folded her hands neatly in her lap, and then hit me with, I want to clear the air between us, once and for all. And I think you need to hear my side of what happened between your parents. Wait, what? I told her. Carla, I don't think this is necessary. I've moved on. I've made peace with what happened. She interrupted me. No, you've made assumptions. You don't know the full story, and your father deserves better from you. Let me pause here and say, up until that moment, I had genuinely believed she was trying to mend things in good faith. But that sentence, it shattered the illusion. I asked her calmly, what do you think I don't know? And then she dropped a nuclear bomb of chaos I never saw coming. She claimed that my mom had an affair first, that my dad only reconnected with Carla after their marriage had already broken down, that my mom used me and my brother to emotionally blackmail my dad into financial support, that the reason they lost the house wasn't because my dad abandoned us, but because my mom refused to accept his help when pride got in the way. I just sat there, stunned. This wasn't a peace offering. It was a PR campaign, trying to rewrite history with her as the misunderstood, maligned woman and my mom as the secret villain of the story. I told her, even if that's true, and I doubt it, this isn't your story to tell. This is my life, my pain, my experience. She kept going. She said she had receipts, whatever that meant. She brought up emails from years ago, tried to show me some printed copies, which I refused to take, and then, and I swear this happened, she said, you owe it to your father to fix this family. You're his legacy. Stop letting your mother poison you. That's when I snapped. I told her to leave. I told her if she ever came to my house again without being invited, I'd call the police. I told her that whatever fantasies she had about mending things with me was dead now, and that she had just reminded me why I kept my distance for 15 years. She left, in a huff, slamming the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. 10 minutes later, I got a call. From my dad. Apparently, Carla had called him sobbing, saying I'd verbally attacked her, that I had threatened her, and that I was being emotionally unstable. He started yelling at me over the phone before I could even speak. I hung up. He called back. I blocked him. Then the text started. First from him. You're ungrateful. Carla was trying to make peace. You just want someone to blame. Then from my aunt, again. I heard what you did to Carla. She didn't deserve that. She came to you in love. Then from my cousin, again. You need help. Seriously. Your mom really messed you up. I was shaking. I showed Andrew everything when he got home, and he immediately suggested we get a security camera and change the settings on our Ring doorbell to auto-record. I also talked to my mom. She was furious, and then she cried. She denied the cheating allegation completely, said Carla was rewriting the timeline, that she and my dad had already agreed to try counseling when he started seeing Carla on the side. It all checks out with what I remember. But honestly, I don't even care anymore. I don't care who cheated first. I don't care who's lying, who's spinning, who's playing victim. What I care about is that a woman I've told for 15 years to stay out of my life showed up uninvited, insulted my mother, and tried to gaslight me about my childhood. And now my father is backing her over me, again, as he always has. I've officially gone no contact. I blocked everyone on that side of the family. I locked down my social media. Andrew is helping me install a new fence gate this weekend. I never wanted it to come to this, but I'm choosing peace over guilt. If that makes me emotionally unstable in their eyes, so be it. At least now I can breathe. Final update. Hi, Reddit. I know I said my last update was the last, but then all hell broke loose. And somehow, in the most unexpected, spiraling, chaotic way possible, we found peace. Let me walk you through the emotional apocalypse. First, the group chat massacre. So after Carla came to my house, after I blocked everyone, I thought it was over. I truly did. But apparently, my cousin, yep, that one, created a new family group chat on WhatsApp called Family Healing Sparkling Heart and added me, my dad, Carla, my mom, my brother, Aunt Joan, and 4 other cousins. I only noticed it because I got 87 notifications in 5 minutes. The moment I joined, all I saw was, Carla, I just wanted to share the truth. I didn't deserve to be treated like a villain. Aunt Joan, this is not the place for airing dirty laundry. My mom, is this a joke? Why am I here? My cousin, we all deserve to speak. Maybe, Opie, needs to hear more than just her mother's version. My brother, delete this chat right now. I wasn't even going to respond. I was about to leave the group until I saw a PDF attachment Carla uploaded, titled, Timeline of Events and Emails, The Real Story. Woman facepalming. She made a document. I opened it. I wish I hadn't. It was 22 pages long. She included screenshots of emails between her and my dad from 2007 to 2010, calendar entries, even a receipt for a hotel room from a business trip in 2008. It was meticulous and disturbing. My brother finally snapped and wrote, Carla, no one asked for a thesis on your affair. Jesus Christ. Go touch grass. Then my mom replied with the most ice-cold, nuclear message I've ever seen. Thanks for confirming the dates, Carla. It's validating to see that your relationship with my husband began while we were still married, not after. I guess gaslighting really does have receipts. I'll forward this to my lawyer, for fun. Reddit, I screamed. That shut the chat down for a good 10 minutes. Then Carla left the group silently. Then my dad wrote, I never wanted this to get so public. I'm sorry. I should have protected you both. Then he left the group, too. Then my cousin, clearly flailing, wrote, This is why I wanted to help. We all need therapy. You all are so toxic. So I finally wrote something. No. What we needed was honesty. Boundaries. Respect. You don't get to cause chaos and call it healing. You started this group to control the narrative. It backfired. I'm done. Then I left, too, and muted my phone for 24 hours. Then, the twist I never saw coming. The next day, I got a knock on the door. It was my brother. And guess who was with him? My dad. Alone. No Carla. I froze. My stomach dropped. Andrew was out getting groceries, so it was just me. I stepped outside. My brother whispered. He asked me to come with him so you'd feel safe. My dad looked like he hadn't slept in a week. His eyes were puffy. His hands were shaking. Then he said, I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know I chose wrong. Not just at the wedding, but way before that. I didn't say anything. Then he pulled out a crumpled envelope from his coat pocket. Inside were photos I hadn't seen since I was a kid. Me and him at the park, at school plays, camping. On the back of one photo, in his handwriting, it said, You deserved better than what I gave you. He told me he hadn't realized how deep the damage was until Carla turned everything into a courtroom defense. That he saw, for the first time, how much he'd let her speak for him, how many bridges she'd burned on his behalf. He said, If you never want to see me again, I understand. But if you want to meet for coffee sometime, I'd like that. I was crying. My brother was crying. My neighbor's dog was barking. It was a whole moment. I said, not coffee, but dinner. With Mom. With Andrew. With you. Just us. He nodded. Just us. Now, the actual piece. 1 week later, it happened. We met at a quiet Italian place near my mom's house. Mom was icy but civil. Dad was nervous. Andrew made terrible dad jokes to break the tension. My brother ordered 4 appetizers out of anxiety. And somewhere between the breadsticks and dessert, we laughed. We cried a little. We talked about stuff that wasn't ancient drama, like work, books, movies, my brother's weird obsession with puzzles. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. My mom even said to my dad, as we were leaving, "I'm glad you finally grew up. Shame it took 30 years. He smiled, sheepishly. Better late than never. We're not a Hallmark family now. I still don't talk to Carla. I probably never will. And I'm okay with that. Some wounds don't need reopening. But I realized something powerful that night. You can't undo the past, but you can refuse to let it script your future. I made peace with my dad, not because he deserved it, but because I deserved peace. And honestly, it feels lighter now. So Reddit, that's the last chapter.